Hi, everybody. It's Tamara Hawk. I just wanted to do an energy alert for you just because stuff's going on out there in the energy and on the planet. And I think it's kind of important. Uh, it's funny because I personally wrote a list of all of the things I wanted to talk about. And I wrote it down very nicely, just the headings. And I thought, okay, I'll let my peeps talk. And it's so funny because my peeps kept saying, nope, no lists, no lists, right? Because I usually do these as like whatever comes through. And they were having none of it. They said, if you do the list, we're not going to, you're blocking the inspiration that might come in or the messages that might flow through if you have too many lists. Okay. So I just want to start out with talking about the energies in general. And I know a lot of people are struggling with this. You may notice whether it's you or people around you. Some people are just losing it. They're angry, they're frustrated, they're whatever. Okay. Now, with some others of you, you're going to notice that things are flowing really well and you're really happy. And it's like, wow, this is just great, right? And it's because things are magnified right now. So happiness is magnified, anger is magnified, and everything in between. Okay. So we're going to start out. It's like we all have this set point of, I'll call it happiness or vibration. We have a set point of our vibration. And we can change it with some awareness, right? If your set point is, geez, I'm a pretty happy person and I'm pretty perky most of the time and everything's pretty good and I get thrown out every now and then, but for the most part I'm happy. You probably don't want to change your vibration, right? But if you're extremely angry most of the time, or victimhood most of the time, or sad, or any kind of lower vibrating energy for the majority of the time, you might want to look at working on changing your set point. And you could do that with how you speak to yourself, right? Like instead of saying, this always happens, this bad stuff always happens to me, you could say, shit happens and I will come through this, right? So I'm not going to get into that a whole bunch in this video, but it's, you'll find wherever your vibrational set point is, it's bigger. I don't know how else to put it. It's just bigger. So more happiness or more upset. Okay. Now that brings me to the next thing. Okay. Is those of you that, like me, are extremely sensitive may be feeling energies of other people. Okay. Now, I went a large part of my life, almost 35, 40 years, with not realizing how much I felt other people's energies. Okay. Now, this is also magnified. So if you're like an empath or you feel other people's stuff, you may be feeling it way more than normal. Okay. Now, the the way I figured it out is actually my late husband. If I woke up in the morning and I would be worried about something I never worried about, or I would be in a mood that was so far from my normal, and he got to the point where when that happened, he would say to me, do you have a client this morning? Or like, is that you? And pretty much 100% of the time when I was acting or being or worrying or anything that was not my personal normal, right? It was my client or my friend that I was going to be hanging out with. Okay. So if you find that you're waking up in the morning or you're engaging with people at work or and this can happen even if you're thinking about people a lot. Okay. Like I'm very close to my mother and I could be driving to her house to pick her up and I'm a couple of blocks away and all of a sudden my ankle will start to hurt. And I'm like, wow, what did I do to my ankle? My ankle hurts. But it's hers. Like, so if you're sensitive like that, you feel it as if it's yours. Okay. I'm not talking about reading people. I'm not talking about trauma based, trying to figure out what people want so you can please them. I'm talking about actually feeling other people's stuff as if it's yours. Okay. So, anyway, all of that is amplified at the moment. So, if you're finding that your moods are not you, okay, it's really important to just ask yourself the question, is this mine? Does it match my life? Okay. If you have a good job and all your bills are paid and you wake up one morning freaking out about money and you're meeting a friend later, ask yourself, is this mine? Does it belong to me? Okay. And if it doesn't, okay, the next thing we want to talk about is asking for help. All right. You can ask your peeps, you can ask your guides, or you can ask Source itself. Okay. We're all part of Source. And call it God if you will. Okay. God's real. It's just God got a really bad rap because of what religions said it was. Okay. But ask for help. You will get help, right? There are times where I just go for a walk in the wind and I just say, clear me out, right? I can feel this. It's really dense. I can't stand it. Can you please just clear me out? Okay. And I want you to do that. If you're feeling a bunch of other people's stuff, ask to be cleared out. Okay. Now, I'm just getting to throw this in a little bit is don't go to a place of judgment. Okay, like that person makes me feel horrible, or I hate that person and the words they use and the vibe they use. That is not feeling their energy. That's you involving yourself in somebody else's journey. And that is never helpful for either of you. Okay. With what I'm talking about, it's when you truly, truly feel inside what somebody else is feeling. All right. Like I say, you're not judging the person. You're just pissed off and you don't know why. And then you go see somebody and they're pissed off and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's theirs, right? But it's important to just, if you stay in your heart and push that energy out, right? That's your protection. So keep these things in mind. Recognize what is yours. Okay, I did have a couple things down. Okay, another thing that is coming in, and now my peeps will talk about it, is integrity, acknowledgement, perfectionism. Okay, things like that. Now, it's really important to be in integrity right now. There's so many out there that aren't. Okay, like gurus, people who are getting to be millionaires by trying to teach you how to be a millionaire, or people who are saying that they're, let's say, like me, right? But they're not living it, right? It's like, yeah, like they'll be like, oh, you have to be all this and that, but they're not that. So be discerning and use your own intuition to call BS on some of this stuff. Okay. It's like if you see an ad for something, it's not always like a sign that this person can help you. Sometimes it's simply an algorithm. Okay. Which is why I'll just ask you now, if you like this, please like and share and subscribe, and then the algorithms will show me to more people. But anyway, back to the integrity is do what you say you're going to do. Okay. It's like if you have a bill, pay your bill. And the thing is what I'll say about that is if you truly cannot pay that bill, then at least contact the person or people that you're supposed to be paying and come up with an arrangement of sorts, okay? That's the integrity part. Trying to ignore, say, paying your bills and hoping it's going to go away with a lottery win is not in integrity, okay? It's the opposite of integrity. Yeah, so use your words wisely. Say what you mean and don't. It's like if your vibrational set point is really low, don't lie to yourself and don't lie to other people. It's okay to say, I am here, and acknowledge that. That's being in integrity, okay? You could say, I am here and I'm on my way there with, say, your vibration or whatever. That's in integrity, right? But don't lie. It's really bad for your vibration, okay? I don't know how else to put it exactly, is be in integrity, okay? Now, I've got this thing. Here's another example of being in integrity, okay? Is I just started this Facebook thing and it's a 90 days of anything, right? And I decided that I was going to do 10 minutes of walking and getting out of the house every day, because sometimes I sit here way too many days in a row. Anyway, and it's like there's been once I forgot. It's been a couple weeks since I've been doing this, but one day I completely forgot till after dark, and there's bears and cougars out there, so I didn't go. And then one day I truly needed a rest. I needed a day of just kind of nothing, downtime. So I took it, but I was in integrity about it. I didn't fail at my 90 days. It was more of I'm making this decision to do this. Okay. So if you want to be in integrity, not over, it's like don't overschedule yourself, because then you'll be late for appointments or you'll be canceling with people because you're overscheduled. Okay. And that's not always in integrity. And that comes from a place sometimes, okay, when we try to be too perfect or we try to be everything to everybody, or we don't value ourselves and value our need to be alone or take some time, right? We think we need to be perfect. We think we need to be there for everybody all the time. And that's simply not true. You need to be in integrity with yourself first. And, if you need to change plans because you're really tired, it's in integrity to get a hold of somebody and say, look, I probably shouldn't have scheduled this with you. I just can't do it. Okay. That's in integrity. If you're ghosting people, of course, that's not. If you've said to somebody, I want to help you, and you really do it with your heart, and you really meant it at the time, if you go to help that person and you're throwing daggers energetically, or you know what I mean, just really bad vibes, supposedly helping this person, that's not really an integrity, because that's not really helpful. Energy's everything. It's everywhere, okay? So keep that in mind. Be in integrity, right? And learn to recognize what integrity feels like. So if you're working on your own personal integrity, feel your way through it. Most of you watching this far are pretty, yeah, you've got the intuition and the feelings, right? And they're really strong right now. And getting stronger. It seems like this is just a big hump of strength of this, but there's been so many over the past few years, it's going up and up and up and up, and it's never going back down. So the more you could think about being in integrity, and this is with yourself too, okay? If you are wanting to do a business or you're wanting to put yourself out there, you need to be in integrity with yourself, okay? If you're lying to yourself and you're lying to other people, like make it, they will come, just fake it till you make it, that's not going to necessarily work in this energy, okay? You're better off to say, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing, this is how I can help, and this is where I'm going. That is an integrity, okay? Yeah, BS isn't going to work for most people. Stuff's going to go sideways for people who are BSing other people. I don't know how. It's going to be an energy thing, but that's what my peeps are telling me is all of these, I don't need gurus, the people that are putting themselves out there that they know all this stuff, that don't really know all this stuff, it's going to bite them. Okay. So wherever you are in your journey, just be honest with yourself, honest with your clients, honest with your everything. It will catapult you farther than BS will any day. Okay. Not sure who needed to hear that part. Maybe everybody, right? Maybe you're looking for somebody to get a reading from or mentoring from, and you needed to hear that so that you don't get sucked into somebody who's just BSing you and saying that they can do things for you that you need to do for yourself. Okay. Alrighty. We can actually wrap this one up now, but just keep in mind, wherever your emotional set point is, it's going to be stronger. So if you do not like how you feel the majority of the time, start working on raising your vibration just a tiny bit at a time. All right. You've got all the support in the world right now. Much love.